Hey everyone, I'm David with the Hungry for a Day team. I'm here with Leroy Lamar. We're going to tell you about what Leroy's doing. Obviously, we're standing here in front of this mobile home. We're going to take you inside in a minute and tell you about the people that he's helping, specifically on
Fulton Industrial Boulevard.
which is in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's in Atlanta, Georgia. We're working with folks on the margins.
Yeah.
So folks who are homeless, folks living in and out of hotels, folks involved in the sex industry, in a particular part of Atlanta that's pretty rough, known for drugs and quite a few things.
So we're going to go inside and tell you about 3 different ways that we're going to help them this year. We're calling this project Meals, Moments, and Marta. Now, meals, sometimes what that meal does, what you guys were telling me, that it creates a moment.
It does. Yeah, it's not about the food we serve, right? We're not just feeding the hungry. That gives us that moment for an interchange between the people in the community and ourselves. So one of the ways we do those meals are a community cookout every other Saturday. We grill hot dogs. We have games. We,
now I've gone out and volunteered a couple times. I always enjoy doing it. You're helping the homeless. You're helping the people that are, like Leroy said earlier, just in the margins. People that are struggling. Like, where's my next meal coming from?
They may not be typically homeless, at like living on the street, but they're working every night to pay their bill to stay in a hotel room.
Yeah.
So they're very much at risk of homelessness, and so there's a lot of services that they really need, and that hot dog gives us that time to sit and start to unpack and get them to trust us, to put their trust in us to help them, because I'm not just gonna go to somebody if I don't know them and kind of put my most vulnerable self out there and say I need help getting off the streets or doing this or changing the kind of work I do.
What I love about this is that you guys show up every week or every other week. Mm-hmm. And it's not something like, hey, we're going to go feed people that really need some help this week and maybe we'll come back in a few months. It's you're there every other Saturday.
Yeah.
You just keep showing up.
Absolutely. And we see the same people come up, and occasionally they bring, new people, or if we're in the community other days during the week, they're like, oh, you guys are the hot dog people.
Yeah.
So it kind of is starting to give us that recognition within the community as being community members.
All right, so hot dogs. Roughly the cost on that is $85. That's going to feed about 50 people.
Yep.
And we're doing that every other week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we need to raise money for that. Secondly, we're using this RV. Tell us about court on Friday mornings.
We work with a sentence diversion program through the Fulton County Courts called Community Court. Also part of that is showing up to court every other Friday morning in order to stand before the judge. So transportation is a huge issue for a lot of our friends. And so we are going to use this to pick them up and offer them the chance to have breakfast, maybe grab a shower, and rest before we go to court. Because one of their barriers and struggles is they're always so tired, they're always so hungry. And sometimes the court system makes them wait a little bit. So
yeah, because I know, like, if I'm in court, for let's say I have a speeding ticket or something, whatever that may be, like, I'm going to be there dressed in my best. I'm probably taking the morning off work to go. But this is different for these people, right?
This is very different. The challenges are different in that the time lines up where they've got to pay their next night's rent for the hotel room that they're staying in. So that's oftentimes a competing factor. Or they've been working all night and they're tired and they're hungry, or they're coming down from a drug that they took overnight. And we just feel like this space would be a safe place for them to kind of regroup for a few hours before they have to go in front of a judge and
you're going to feed them a hot meal. We talked about pancakes, waffles, that kind of thing.
Yeah, breakfast, coffee, juice, syrup.
Help them make sure that their mind's in the right place before they got to do this.
Yeah, and it also then is another opportunity for us to just be present with them.
And this breakfast, okay, so let's talk about cost.
Yeah.
It's about $25, right?
Probably about $25 per week.
And we're going to feed how many people?
4 to 6 individuals per time.
Okay.
I'm sure once word gets out that that's what we're doing, we might have more, but we're going to start there.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
That's great. Third thing that we're talking about.
Marta
cards. We're going to go to Leroy for this.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Leroy, we're kicking it to you. Tell us about Marta.
Yeah, so one of the things you might not think that's needed in our community is Marta. Marta passes, Marta cards. So for those not here in Atlanta, Marta is our public transportation system. And it's about $2.50 per trip. And our goal is to try to help folks get to important appointments. So doctors, visits, or for work, which is primarily what we want to be able to do, is help people have the resources to be able to get back and forth to work. So the initial card is $1, and each trip is $250. But you can buy a monthly card for about $95, and so that's unlimited trips for the entire month on that one card.
And we talked some numbers. You guys are giving roughly about 150 trips a month, and your monthly cost is how much?
Our monthly cost is, I don't remember.
$380.
Our monthly cost is $380.
$380.
Yeah.
All right, so this is it. We got 3 ways to help out. Meals, moments, Marta. Meals to create moments, and then Marta. So what we need is we need people to sponsor the Saturday cookouts. Cost $85 to do a cookout, and it feeds about 50 people. We need people to sponsor Saturday morning breakfast or Friday morning breakfast before these people go to court.
Yes.
That feeds
4 to 6.
4 to 6 people. It costs about $25 to host that.
Yes.
We're giving them coffee, orange juice, all that kind of stuff. Third, Marta cards, as Leroy just talked about. Marta cards, cost for that is roughly about $400, and that's giving about 150 trips. That's getting people to jobs, to interviews, to doctor's appointments, maybe back to where they live.
Yep.
And so those are the different ways that you can get involved. Let's all come together, be a big blessing to CCS and what they're doing this year. A lot of different ways to help out. I think everybody can be a part in some way.